I'm Emily Peterson, and today I'm going to talk about the Bhagavad Gita and how yoga is involved in this scripture. So, what is the Bhagavad Gita? It's sometimes described as a summary of all of the Hindu scriptures. The title, Bhagavad Gita, directly translates to Song of the Lord or Song of God. This is because it's made up of 700 different shlokas, or poems, and follows a conversation between Lord Krishna and Arjuna. Lord Krishna is an avatar, or an incarnation of God on earth, and he's speaking to Arjuna, a warrior prince about to enter into a battle. Arjuna is fighting in the Mahabharata War in India, and is being placed against friends and family in the fight. But he doesn't want to fight, and instead falls onto his knees, crying out for knowledge. Lord Krishna gives him answers. What message does the Gita teach? Arguably, the most important message taught in the Gita is to focus on your individual duty and to fulfill it in a selfless manner. Lord Krishna teaches that anything in life, actions, decisions, or anything else, that's based upon satisfaction will lead to eventual destruction. This is exemplified in his quote, saying, "Through selfless service, you will always be fulfilled and you will always be fruitful and find the fulfillment of your desires." Because of this, he calls on humans to sacrifice their own agenda and to instead serve the greater good. One way to do this is to detach yourself, emotionally and mentally, from the outcome of your own actions. Instead of desiring a specific result or outcome, perform your duties selflessly and leave the rest up to the will of God. Lord Krishna also teaches the importance of understanding life, as understanding life will lead to the ability to lead a right life. He teaches that humans are composed of two different parts, an immortal spirit, or a soul, and a mortal body, which will eventually pass away. After a mortal body passes away, the immortal spirit passes on from one physical form into the next. The immortal spirit also carries with it gunas, or a character, which contributes to the next life. This is expressed in the law of karma. But beyond human life, it's also taught that God is an expression of unity in all of the world. And because all of the world is a unified expression of God, then all of the world should be valued as such. And once we are able to realize our own oneness with God, then we are able to be freed from the cycle of reincarnation. But how does yoga fit into all of this? Well, yogas are the pathways to liberation from the cycle of life and death. 4 main types of yoga are discussed in the Gita as pathways to God. Karma yoga aims to realize God through selfless actions, while Jnana yoga realizes God through knowledge. Bhakti yoga realizes God through dedication to God, and Raja yoga aims to realize God through meditation. While there are many different paths or yogas to God, most people realize that it's necessary to take more than one instead of focusing in on just one. In order to realize their own oneness with God, they need multiple yogas. But how does physical yoga come into play? The physical practice of yoga was originally intended to link the self to God. Just as yoga means to yoke, it was intended to yoke yourself to God. And this is outlined in Patanjali's book on Yoga Sutras, which dives into the Raja Yoga path. Edwin Bryant, a professor of religions in India, says that Patanjali viewed yoga as meditative practices, culminating in attaining a state of consciousness free from all modes of active or discursive thought, and of eventually attaining a state where consciousness is unaware of any object external to itself. This directly reflects the teachings of Lord Krishna, as yoga is used as a pathway to oneness with God, and by extent, a pathway to oneness with the world around us. But today, especially in Western cultures, yoga is practiced primarily for physical or mental health reasons, and it doesn't have any spiritual implications behind it. It's not an evil or negative thing to use yoga as a form of exercise alone, but yoga has more to offer than simply being a gym time activity. It's layered and can do more for a person than serve as a form of exercise. Even if someone does not religiously believe or follow the teachings of the Bhagavad Gita, the book still offers a healthy way of life, and so does yoga. That was the chunk of information that I wanted to give you. As far as the semester went, I think it went really well. Obviously, not my favorite thing that we were online pretty much the whole time. I got to go to a few in person, which was also always fun. But I had a really good time because I've only ever done gym yoga where it's like you're doing it as a physical activity, not like a mind and body connection, like breath practice. And so I really enjoyed going into the different layered parts of yoga and like understanding, I guess, the history behind it and the intentions behind different poses and like the different styles and just like what it's composed of altogether. I really enjoyed learning more about what it was instead of just like doing it and moving on with the day. So I had a good time. Thank you.